what is relation. We already know relation came from, it's the subset of Cartesian product. Whenever we are finding Cartesian product of two set, relation is just the subset of that. A predefined, a proper condition will be given over there, and according to that we will be writing the sets. Let's see what is function. So in real world, in normal language, function means, suppose we are having a set P and we are having a set Q. P is having elements that is 2, 3, 4, and Q is having element that is 1 and 2. Now the image of 2 is 1, the image of 3 is also 1, image of 4 is 2. If we are having each and every element is having their unique image, like 2 is having image, 3 is also having one of the image, 4 is also having the image, that is, hence we can say it's a function. Now what is not a function? Let me give you that example also. So suppose we are having a set A and we are having a set B. Now set A is having an element again 2, 3, 4, and set B is having an element, let's say 2, 3, 4 only, and the images are in such a way that 2 is going to 2, 3 is going to 3, 2 is going to 4, and 4 is also going to 4 only. So this is not a function. How we will identify whether the given relation is a function or not? Here, one input cannot have two output. In real world, you can say I am going to on a switch. Once I will on a switch, it can't happen that light will also get on, fan will also start, my AC will also start, everything will just start. It can't happen like that. If something like this is happening, that is not a function. One input cannot give too many outputs. Okay, when we are having a here ordered pair 2, 2 is going on 2. Can you see? Let me mark it with different color. Here 2 is going on 2 and 2 is going on 4. That means once you are pressing the button 2 and two different output you are getting. That is not possible. That is not a function. Okay, when you are pressing 2, you are getting 1. When you are pressing 3 in the first example, you are getting 1 only. That is okay. Like I am pressing the switch, the fan is on. Now I am pressing the remote, fan is on. That is okay. Okay, so one input will not have more than one output. Is it clear? The first one is a function and the second one is not a function. Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Similarly, if we are having, like all of you got it, right? So similarly, if we are having here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here also, if we are having 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here 1 is going on 2, 2 is going on 3, 3 is going on 4, and 4 is going on 5, 5 is going on 6, and 6 is going on 7. This is a function. As we can see, one input, one output, one input, one output. So if such case we are having, then we can say this relation is a function. Okay. One input cannot have two outputs. That is the case which we need to avoid over here. We can also check whether a given suppose this type of relation, this type of mapping diagram is not given. Suppose this type of graph is given, where the graph is, let's say it's like this. Okay, and the graph is y square is equals to x. This is the graph we are having, that is given in the question, and it is asking whether this is a function or not. So here there is a test which we can apply to check whether it's a function or not. So if you are dropping a vertical line, if you are On the graph, if you are plotting a vertical line, okay, and if that vertical line is passing through 2 points, here point P, point Q. A vertical line I am drawing on the graph, and that vertical line is intersecting 2 points. Then we can say it's not a function. Why? Because suppose here x value is 3. Here y value is, let's say, 4. Here y value is -2. So here, can you see at x equals to 3, you are getting two different y value, that is 4 also and -2 also. Upside also, downside also. Coordinate geometry you all know, right? Are you getting it? And now only I said to you, for one input, we will not have two different outputs. If you are getting for one input two different output, that is not a function. Got it? Similarly, if I will draw a circle, and I will ask whether it's a function or not. The graph of a graph is showing a function or not. So you will drop a vertical line and you see at 2 point it is getting cutted. So it's not a function. We just need such a graph. Suppose the graph is like this. Now, if you will draw a vertical line anywhere, you will see only at one point, the vertical line is touching the graph. If the vertical line will touch a graph at only one point, one and only one point, then only we can say it's a function. Got it? Okay, so let's discuss about it. Let's see few examples. So the question is, let n be the set of natural numbers and the relation R be defined on n such that R is equals to set of all ordered pair xy such that y is equals to 2x, where xy belongs to n. Check that whether it's a function or not. Find domain, codomain, and range. So here, as you can see, y is equals to 2x we are having. And when we will draw the mapping diagram, whatever x you will put for that x, for that natural number, you will get a new y, right? Suppose you are taking x equals to 1. Your y value will be 2 into 1, that is 2. When you are taking x equals to 2, your y value will be 2 into 2, that is 4. Who did that? Who did that from here? Anyone tried to write something over here? Yes. Who did that? Sahil?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
शायद आपसे ही हुआ है।
Aman? Here it was showing that the name it's shown, the name was showing over there. Anyone have noticed? Please unmute yourself and tell me.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
So here, when x is 2, y is 4. When you will take x equals to 3, you will get y is equals to 6. So this way, whatever x you will take, you will get different y. That means it's a function, right? For one x value, you will not get two different y values. Is it possible over here that you have taken such a x value and you got two different y value? Yes, Izan, are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a function. Now we have to find the domain, codomain, and range. Okay, so domain means what? Here it says, like it is clearly written in the question, that x, y both belongs to natural number. So this one. So we can pick x from any natural number, right? So domain means what? Set of all first element. Whatever you can take as a value of x, those value of x are domain, right? So domain means all the natural number are domain over here. Are you getting it? Now what is codomain? So codomain means everything in the set y. That is also a natural number only, right? And now what is range? Anyone?
2 to 30.
Yeah, what will be the range?
2 to infinity.
Twice x is the output. Yeah, I'm unable to hear. Anyone is saying anything, please say it quite loudly.
2 to infinity.
It will be the set of all even natural number. Can you see whatever x you will take, that will get multiplied by 2 and will give y, right? So can we say the output will be only even number? You can see over here also that when once we have taken x1, we got y2. We took x2, we got y4. When you will take x as a 3, you will get y as a 6. So only even numbers we are getting, right? So range
Yes,
Yes,
means
ma'am.
all the output. So we can say range will be all even natural number. All right. Let's do the next one. Okay. Just a second. Let me share the screen again. Can you see the screen?
yes, ma'am.
Now we will be discussing some functions. You have understood the meaning of the function. Now we are going to discuss about few functions and its graphs. So some functions and its graph. So at first we will be focusing on identity function. As the name says, identity function, that means here the equation or the function will be y is equals to x, or we can also say it will be f of x is equals to x. That is identity function. This function is named as an identity function. The way you are having your own name, same way this function or this equation is having a name called identity function. Now the graph of this identity function, when you will draw it, when you will draw the graph, you must have learned how to draw the graph in lower classes, like in class 7, class 8. You must have taken some x value, some y value, and on the basis of x and y, we used to plot the graph. Same way we will be plotting the graph over here. Once we will plot the graph of this equation, that is y is equals to x, we will be having coordinate axis like this, and our graph will look like this one. Okay, here we will be having x-axis, here we will be having y-axis. If you want, you can draw. You can take x value as a 2, y will come out as a 2. You will take x value as a 4, y will come out as a 4. And eventually your graph will be like this only. A straight line passing through the origin. That's the graph of identity function. Now here we have to focus on what will be the domain. Just a second, let me share the screen again.
Okay.
So we have to focus on few functions, their graph, their domain, range, and codomain. So these are the function which will be function f from real number to real number. Whenever we are finding or saying the domain of any function, we will consider the whole real number. Okay, from that real number we have to check what is acceptable, what is like what we can take as a value of x, and what we can't take as a value of x. So since y is equals to x is there, here domain will be all real number, any real number, like any random number we can take as a value of x, right? So domain means what? Domain means what we can take as a value of x. Yes, Lina and Nizan, are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Because
Yes,
previous day we were just discussing about from the sets that what will be domain, what will be codomain, and today we just started talking about such a huge, like the whole real number we have to consider. From there we have to think about what can be the value of x. So the value of x here will be, it can be any real number we can take. So domain will be all real number. What will be codomain and range? So codomain is, since the function is from R to R, codomain will also be real numbers. And what will be the range? Range means output. Okay, just before this question we have focus, we have done one of the question where output was only even number. Okay, so here what will be the output? If y is equals to x is there, then what will be the output? Whatever you will take, that will be the output, right? If you are taking x value as a 2, y will be 2. If you are taking x value as a 2.15, y value will be 2.15, right? If you are taking x value as a 2 by 3, then y value will be 2 by 3 only. So whatever you are taking x, that is y. So range will also be all real numbers. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's move
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
next one. Now the next function is constant function. you have to keep it in mind. The way you just first day you go to your school, you make some friend, and now it's your responsibility to just keep their name in your mind so that next time you are meeting with them, you can call them by their names. Similarly, these are the function. Next time when you will see this function, we are going to call them by their names. The identity function y is equals to x. Constant function, let me introduce you. The constant function will f of x will be c, or y is equals to c, a constant where c is a constant. Okay, so this is constant can be anything. It can be f of x is equals to 2, it can be f of x is equals to 3, it can be any number. Okay, so the graph of this constant function, when you will plot the graph of y is equals to 2, let's say you will get a straight line. Okay, here y is 2, here y is 1, this is 0. So you will get a straight line parallel to x-axis. That means the graph will be like this. Like this. This is the graph of y is equals to 2. Some student always have the confusion why the graph of y is equals to 2 is like this. The graph of y is equals to 2 is like this because you are taking x as a 0, y is 2. You are taking x as a 1, y is still 2 because you can't put the value of x. You are taking x as a 3, y is 2. You are taking x as a 4, y is still 2. That's why the graph is like this. That whatever is the x value, let me mark it. That is, whatever is the x value here, 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 whatever the y value everywhere is 2 only. Okay, that's why the graph of the constant function will be parallel to x-axis. This is how we will have the graph of constant function. Now, domain, codomain, range. Okay, domain, codomain, and range. Anyone, can you tell me what will be the domain? Izan, what will be the domain?
Uh, 0, 1, 3, 4.
Yeah, that means any real number, right?
Yeah,
We can take x value as any number, right?
yeah.
That means if you want to take any number if you want to use, that's a real number. Okay, that means you want to say that we can take domain as any real number. Now we are talking about the broad term. Previously, very few x value were there and we used to take the domain from there. Okay, now we have to think about the whole real number. That can we take the whole real number? If we can take, that is the domain. Okay, what is real number? Whatever number exists in this universe, all the numbers are real number. Okay, apart from that, we are also having imaginary number. You will be able to learn about that. So now what is the codomain? Yes, Lena, what's the codomain?
2.
Yeah, for this one codomain is 2. And when we are saying c, y is equals to c, and I'm not specifically, if we will not talk about 2, then codomain will also be real number, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and what is the range? Why codomain is 2? Because we are in, when I'm going to define any set, I am taking a function f from r to r. That is, the first set is from real number, the second set is from real number. So no need to think about that. Domain will be all real number, codomain will also be all real number. Now range is something which we have to think, that what can be the output. Okay, so here whatever is c, that will be the output, right? The way here we are seeing y is 2, y is 2, y is 2, y is 2. Whatever you are taking x, y will be 2, right? Similarly, if I am saying y is equals to c is there, so whatever you will take as a x, y will be c only, the constant number only, which can be anything, right? So output will be only c. Whatever you take as a x, output will be c only. C can be 2, c can be 3, any constant number. Are you getting it? Yes, all of you, are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So range will be C. Okay. In this case, if you are taking y is equals to 2, so range will be 2. But codomain means everything. Codomain means what? Here we are having real number. Here we are having real number. Here real number means 1, 0.1, 0.2, 3, 4, any random number. Just a lot of infinite numbers are there. Here also a lot of infinite number like 1, 0.3, 4, 2, 2 by 5. A lot of real numbers till infinity is there. So domain is real number, codomain is real number. Now what is the range? Range means only the output. So whatever you will take as a from R, your output will depend on like what you are having. Y is equals to 2 you are having, or y is equals to 3 you are having. That function, what is your constant function? So if their constant is 3, then if you are taking y, if you are taking x as a 1, let me show you. Here 3 is there. 3 is there. If you are taking x as a 1, your y will be 3. If you are taking x as a 0.1, your y will be 3. If you are taking x as a 0.2, your y will be 3. If you are taking x as a 3, your y will be 3. Instead of 3, if c is there, so every time your y will be c. C is just a constant. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's move to the next one.
Yes, ma'am.
मैम
Yeah.
वो अगर डाउट आएंगे तो उनको कैसे कर पाएंगे आपसे?
क्या क्या रहेगा तो?
अगर डाउट आए तो उनको कैसे शेयर करेंगे आपसे?
लॉग आएगा तो?
डाउट आएगा कोई?
Sorry, I can't hear you properly. Can you repeat it or can you write it in the chat box?
मैम ये बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर कोई डाउट आए हमें तो आपके साथ उसको कैसे शेयर कर पाएंगे?
डाउट आएगा तो?
आपके साथ कैसे शेयर कर पाएंगे उसको हम?
अभी मैं चैप्टर पढ़ा रही हूँ, यहाँ से अगर कुछ भी ऐसा कुछ है जो समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो बोलो मेरे को, मैं यहीं पे समझा दे रही हूँ. और अगर दूसरे कंसेप्ट से, दूसरे टॉपिक से डाउट आ रहा है तो फिर उस क्लास का वेट करते हैं. जब हमारा वो क्लास स्केड्यूल्ड होगा तो हम लोग उस क्लास में उस डाउट के बारे में बात करेंगे.
और अगर कोई क्वेश्चन समझ में नहीं आया तो उसको कैसे करेंगे?
कौन सा पोर्शन? रिलेशन एंड फंक्शन से कोई पोर्शन नहीं समझ में आया जो मैं अभी समझा रही हूँ वो, या फिर किसी और टॉपिक से?
मैम जब हम प्रैक्टिस करेंगे तो क्वेश्चन कोई नहीं आया तो उसको कैसे डिस्कस करेंगे आप?
कौन से टॉपिक से?
ये मान लो आज का ये रिलेशन एंड फंक्शंस, तो अगर हम इसकी जब प्रैक्टिस करेंगे
तो
क्वेश्चन
फिर से
लगाएंगे
हमारा
तो
ये रिलेशन एंड फंक्शन का मैं क्लासेस, पहला क्लास मैं दे चुकी हूँ. ये दोनों बच्चे जो यहाँ पे बैठे हैं इन दोनों ने पहला क्लास कर लिया रिलेशन एंड फंक्शन का. ये दूसरा क्लास है, यहाँ से आपको ऐड किया गया है. इसके बाद से आप हर क्लास में इनके साथ रहेंगे. आपको कोई भी अगर डाउट आए रिलेशन एंड फंक्शन जितना हमने कवर किया है उसमें से, तो आप यहाँ पे पूछ सकते हैं. हम लोग यहाँ पे सब कुछ कवर करेंगे एक एक करके. ओके.
ओके.
नाउ द नेक्स्ट वन. क्यों मैं बोल रही हूँ जितना हमने कवर किया है, क्योंकि आप अगर अभी से हाई लेवल का क्वेश्चन लेके आएंगे तो फिर टॉपिक जो मैं एक्सप्लेन कर रही हूँ जो इनके सिलेबस में है, जो पहले इनको पता होना चाहिए तब ये हाई लेवल में जा पाएंगे, तो वो क्लियर नहीं हो पाएगा. तो पहले वो क्लियर कर लेंगे, उससे रिलेटेड कोई डाउट है तो वो मैं क्लियर कर दूंगी, फिर हम लोग जाएंगे एक्स्ट्रा क्वेश्चंस पे. ठीक है. Now the next one is polynomial function. Now in class 9, class 10, you must have gone through the concept of polynomials, and you must know how exactly the polynomial look like. Okay, the structure of the polynomial function is f of x is equals to a0 plus a1x plus a2 x square plus dot 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 an x to the power n. This is how the polynomial function will look like. You can say 2x square plus 3x plus 5, it's a polynomial. Okay, you can also say 3x cube plus 2x square plus 5x plus 6, it's a polynomial. Okay, here we will be having the power of x will be there, which will keep on decreasing, and before that we will be having the constant numbers. That's called polynomial. Okay, here we are going to discuss about polynomial function. Don't worry about this structure. Okay, I can understand that this structure a0, a1, a2, a3, an, this can be quite confusing. Better, polynomial means what? A simple algebraic expression. Okay, in function it will be f of x is equals to any algebraic expression. That's a polynomial function. The highest power of x can be anything. Okay, it can be 4, it can be 5, it can be 3. That's called polynomial function. Here, if the power of x is, suppose x to the power 2 by 3 is there, plus 2x is there, this is not a polynomial function. Okay, the power can't be rational number. Okay, like rational number means I can say the power must be in the form of integers. Like the power must be in the form of whole number, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like this. If it is in the square root form, if it is in the fractional form, then that's not a polynomial. So you just have to know about what exactly it is polynomial function. According to the way polynomial will get changed, its graph will also get changed. As you can see, at first I have written polynomial as 2x square plus 3x plus 5. That one's graph. Then the next one, 3x cube plus 2x square plus 5x plus this is also a polynomial. So the way polynomial will get change, its graph will also get changed. Okay, that's why I'm not going to just give a specific graph that this is the graph which we will use for polynomial function. Why I have given for the previous function? Because for the previous function, identity is sure and short, y is x, y is equals to x. Constant function is f of x is equals to c. C can be 2, then the parallel line will pass through 2. C can be 3, then the parallel line will pass through 3. That is the difference. But here the whole scenario will get changed. Okay, later on, you will get to know about this polynomial function graph in detail. But now this much information is required. Let me take few examples from here. Just a moment. Okay, now the question can be, define the function f such that, like f from r to r by f of x is equals to x square. Complete the table given below and find domain range of this function. Here the function is y is equals to f of x. Okay, function I already have written, that is x square. And let me draw the table. Here we are having x, here we are having y. Y means f of x, that is x square. Here the value of x of -4, -3, -2, 1, 0, 2. That's it. Okay. So yes, Izan, can you tell me when x value is -4, what will be y value? Yeah. Am I audible to you, Izan?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the y value when x is -4?
-2.
See, this is y. F of x means y. Y is equals to x square. 2 square you have to do. So -4 square will be what? Yeah. Lina?
16.
Exactly. -4 square we will do, Izan, and that will be 16. No. Similarly, when x is -3, Izan, tell me what is y value. Am I audible to
9.
you? I'm not audible. Here we will do -3 square, right? That will be 9. Similarly, when x is -2, we will be doing -2 square. That is 4. When x is 1, we will be doing 1 square. That is 1. When x is 0, y will be 0 only because 0 square is 0. Now when x is 2, y will be again like 2 square will be 4. Is it clear? Now what will be domain? What will be range? As we can see, the function is defined R to R. So what will be domain? Yeah, anyone? What will be domain?
Real numbers.
All real number, exactly, because the function is defined from R to R. Even if you can see very few values over here, like -4, -3, -2, 1, 0, 2, that doesn't mean that you will take only those values. Okay, since the function is defined from R to R, we can take any real number for x. And what will be the range? We can say the range of the given function we will get from y is equals to x square. So whatever real number you are taking, that's a square will be the range. Okay. Specifically, if we have to define the range, we cannot say a particular number. All the squared number only we are taking. Like we are getting 16, 9, 4, 1. But if you will take a real number like 0.1, that is also a real number. Then the output will be like 0.1 times 0.1 you have to do to get the output. So that will be like a decimal number only. So we can say the range will be, we have to define the range over here. That will be x square only, where x will belongs to r. Okay. So this is not coming in any of the category, no, even number, odd number, squared number. It is not coming in any of the category. That's why we are defining the range like this. And if we have to plot the graph of it, then with the help of this input and output, we can plot the graph of it. If input is -4, output is 16. So we can say if input is -4, output is 16. Somewhere here. So this is the point. So when you will plot it on the graph paper, or even when you will draw the coordinate axis properly, if x is -3, y is 9, somewhere here. So let's say, so here. If x is -2, y is 4, somewhere here. So you will find that your graph will go like this. Okay. Is it clear to all of you?
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
it's a function. When I have started the concept of the function, I told you when we will drop a vertical line, that vertical line must touch at only one point. Then only we can say it's a function. If it is touching it at more than one point, then it's not a function. So just draw anywhere you just draw a vertical line, it will just touch the graph only once. Okay. Now the next question is, draw the graph of function f real number to real number defined by f of x is equals to x cube. This is cubic function. Let's draw the graph of it. Let's see how the graph of this function, like how is the graph of this function. So how we draw the graph, we just take some random value for x and we find the y value for that. So let's do that. X, y, or f of x. We can say x can be taken as a 0. X can also be taken as 1. Then -1. The smaller number I am taking so that it will be convenient for us to analyze the graph. 2, -2, 3, -3. Yeah. And we can take any random value for x. Now let's calculate y for that. So when x is 0, y will be 0. 0 cube is 0 only. When x is 1, y will be 1 cube, that means 1. When x is -1, y will be? Anyone? What will be the y value?
-1.
Yeah, it will be -1 only. So we will be having -1. When x is 2, y will be 8. When x is -2, y will be -8. When x is 3, y will be 27. When x is -3, y will be -27. Now let's plot it. How we are getting the graph, that's what I am showing over here. The previous graph which I have drawn all by myself, that also you will get just like this only. You just take some random point for x, find the y value according to the given function, and then just plot it. So here the first point is 0, 0, that is origin. The second point is 1, 1. So we can say this is 1, 1. The next point is -1, -1. So x is -1, y is also -1 here. The next point is 2, 8. So when x is 2, y is huge. That is 8. Somewhere here. See all the dot. At last, I am going to connect all the dots. When x is -2, y is -8. That means this is the point. When x is 3, y is 27. Again, it's huge. So let's just try to. The graph will look like this. It will look like this. Can you see it? This is the graph of the function y is equals to x cubed, or f of x is equals to x cubed. Okay. Now after this, we are having a rational function. Okay. So any function, rational function. This rational means what? What we understand by rational number? Any number which is in the form of p by q, where denominator is not 0, that's a rational number. Here the rational function are function which is of the type f of x over g of x. Okay, where fx, gx are polynomial function. Those are rational function. Okay. Now the modulus function and rest of the function we will be discussing in the next class. Here we are going to do some question from the exercise, like whatever you have learned till now, how to use those concepts. Okay. Exercise 2.3. Yes, Lina and Izan, again after this class, assessment will be there. Please do attempt that assessment, which will be based on this topic only. And yeah, after the class, I will send you the homework also. All right?
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So, yes, let's do some questions from here. Which of the following relation are function? So, the first question is 2, 1, 5, 1, 8, 1, 11, 1, 14, 1, and 17, 1. Is it a function or not? To understand it, is it a function or not, we can draw the mapping diagram like this.
Function.
It's a function.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, everyone, do you agree it's a function?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, let's see. So here we are having only 1. 2 is coming on 1. 5 is coming on 1. 8 is coming on 1. Everyone is coming on 1. That is okay. Okay, one input will not have two output. Okay, so 2 is giving the output. 5 is also giving the same. That is fine. First, like here, the first element 2, 5, 8, 11, all are different. Then it is fine. The first element must not be same. Okay, like 2 is giving 1 and we can say 2 is giving another number also. That should not be the case. Let's do the next one. The next one is 2, 1, 4, 2, 6, 3, 8, 4, 10, 5, 12, 6, and 14, 7. Is it a function?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it's a function. Everyone, is it a function?
Yes.
Yeah, it's also a function. Izan, is it getting clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's do the next one. 1, 3, 1, 5, 2, 5. Is it a function?
No, ma'am.
It's not a function. Why it's not a function?
One has to image.
Yeah, exactly. So one has two different images. That is not acceptable. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
For the, any relation to be a function. Now the next one is find the domain of f of x is equals to minus mod x. We have to find the domain and range. Anyone? Domain is what? Now we have to think about the whole real number. Okay, there is not a specific picture that natural number you need to take or a whole number you need to take or the integer you need to take. If nothing is defined over here, that means you have to think about the whole real number. What can be the domain? Tell me what can be
All real numbers is them.
the range. Yeah, what can be the domain?
All real numbers.
All real number, because we can take any value of x. Okay, we can take any x from the real number. What will be the range?
All negative numbers.
All negative numbers.
Yes, ma'am.
Can 0 be there?
No, ma'am.
Okay, 0 will not be there. So if you are saying that we can take all real number, that means I'm going to take x as a 0 because 0 is also a real number. So f of x will be minus of mod 0. That is 0 only. So what will be the range? If we will take x as a 1, f of x will come out as a
Minus one.
minus of mod 1, that is minus 1.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
since before the mod negative is there, I can understand that we will always get a negative number, but we can also get 0, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So the range will be C. Lina and Izan. Real number consists of all the number from negative infinity to positive infinity. Here we are having negative infinity. Here we are having positive infinity. And real number means what? Everything in between that, all are real number. So here, whatever you will take as a value of x, always you will end up getting a negative number. Okay? Or if you will take 0 as a value of x, you will get 0 only because minus 0 doesn't make sense. It
Yes, ma'am.
doesn't, like, we don't write minus 0. If minus plus whatever is there, 0 is 0 only. So 0 will be there, or any value you take from here, always you will get the negative value only for y, because before the modulus there is a negative sign. Modulus will make everything positive. Even if you will drop a negative number over here, it will come out as a positive 2, but this negative is already there. So eventually it will be minus infinity to 0. It can be 0, that's why I am writing this bracket. Okay, open interval, close interval, I have discussed the concept with you. So from minus infinity to 0, 0 can be the output. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Next one is, suppose we are having under root 9 minus x square as a function like f of x. We have to again find domain and we have to find range. Okay. Domain means what? Whatever you can take as a value of x. But here this radical sign is there. Can we take any value of x? Lina, can we take anything for x? Will this function be defined? Yeah, what?
Yes. Yes.
We can take any value for x. Suppose I am going to take x as a 8. So what will be y or f of x? It will be 9 minus 8 square. That means 9 minus 64. That means minus 55, right? Right? Is
Yes.
it fine? In mathematics, is it acceptable? Minus sign inside the square root sign? It's not acceptable. In mathematics, we will try to avoid two things, which is not acceptable. One is 0 in the denominator. If you are writing 2 by 0, that is not defined. Or later on, we will say that's infinity, but till now, it is not defined. Any number by 0 is not defined in mathematics. We will always try to avoid this case. And the second case is negative inside the square root sign. This is also not at all acceptable, because this will go to again imaginary number. This is not a real number. And here, while doing the concept of function, we are talking about the real numbers, the real world. Okay, till now you don't know, I believe, imaginary number, so forget about that. This is not acceptable. Okay, these two cases are there which is not acceptable over here. We will always try to avoid 0 in the denominator. We will always try to avoid negative sign inside the square root. So here you can see our y value became root minus 55, which is not okay. Okay, that's not a real number. So this x value is not acceptable. 8 is not acceptable. Similarly, if you will take higher x value, that will not be acceptable. So we need to try, or we need to approach this question differently. Let me explain you. I want to say here, now I want to say here that whatever is sitting inside the root, that calculation 9 minus x square must be greater than 0, or it can be 0. Okay, if it is 0, function will be defined. If it is greater than 0, that means a positive number, function will be defined. If it is a smaller than 0, function will not be defined. Smaller than 0 means what? Negative number. If it is negative number, the function will not be defined. So I want to say that this 9 minus x square, whatever calculation we will get, that has to be greater than or equals to 0. Because now only I have shown you that negative is not acceptable. So negative means less than 0 is not acceptable. Is it clear so far why I am writing like this?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we will solve this inequality. Okay. So let's solve this inequality. We will be having 9 greater or equals to x square. All right. Or you can do the factorization also over here. Now we will draw a real line. Real line consists of minus infinity to plus infinity. Okay, here we can see x value if we will try to find, or you can do the factorization over here only. You can say this will be 3 plus x, 3 minus x, greater or equals to 0. Here, if greater, instead of greater sign, if equals to 0 will be there, if here equals to 0 will be there, then we would have got x value as a 3 and x value as a minus 3. We would have got, but due to the inequality, we are not getting these values. Okay. So whenever you are solving the inequality, and if you want to find the intervals, like this inequality is true for which interval? Interval means, suppose you are having an inequality, x is larger than 4. So here I can say the interval will be, x value will be more than 4, and it can be anything till infinity. Okay, so here also in our inequality, we are trying to find this type of interval, that our x value will lie in between which number to which number. Okay, so for that, what can be done? First, treat it like a equation. Once you will treat it like a equation, you will get few values of x. Those value, just take it and place it on your real line. So we got 3 and minus 3. So minus 3 I am writing at first, and then I am writing 3. Now we got how many intervals over here? we got first interval, we got second interval, we got third interval. Three different partition we got over here. Okay. So we have divided the real line in three parts. In the first part, we will take one random test point and we will check whether that test point is true for our inequality or not. Like, yeah, this one, the rectangular one. Whether the test point is making this true or not. Similarly, from the second interval, we will take a test point. And for the third interval, we will take a test point. So let's say from the first interval, I am taking the test point as a -4. Okay. Now let's check the inequality. 3 plus x is there. So 3 plus, I am going to write -4. And then 3 minus x is there. So 3 minus -4 I am going to write. And greater or equals to 0 sign is there. So 3 minus 4 is -1. And 3 plus 4 is 7. So here we are getting -7 is greater or equals to 0. Is it true? -7 is larger than 0 or equals to 0?
No, ma'am.
Not at all. So this is false. This interval we have to exclude it. 0, this -infinity to -3 will not be there. Now let's check the next interval, -3 to 3. If I am taking 0 from here as a test point, testing point, okay? So let's put it in the same inequality. 3 plus 0, 3 minus 0, greater or equals to 0. So 3 times 3 we got 9 is greater or equals to 0. Is it true? 9 is larger than or equals to 0?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, exactly, it's true. Okay, so this interval is coming out as a true. Similarly, we will take the next interval 3 to infinity. In between 3 to infinity, you can take any number, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, any number you can take, 1000, 10,000, 1 crore, whatever you can do the calculation. I am taking the smallest possible number, that is 4. Okay, because we only have to do the calculation. So if we will substitute 4 in the same 3 plus 4, then 3 minus 4 greater or equals to 0, we have to check parallelly. So again we will be getting 7 and here -1, -7 greater or equals to 0, which is not at all true, right? So this is also false. So as we can see from here, we got that x will lie in between. X will lie in between -3 to 3. Okay. We can also see from here the end point, that is -3. If we will put it in our function here, if you will substitute -3 over here, that will be 9. 9 minus 9, 0. Okay. F of x will be 0. That is okay. What I said to you, it must not be minus sign inside the root. If it is 0, if it is 1, if it is decimal number, if it is rational number, if it is irrational number, everything is fine, but not negative sign inside the root. So this -3 value is making it 0. That is okay, acceptable. Now if you will substitute 3 over here, only 3, then also it is making it 0. That is also acceptable. So we will write our interval like this. Close interval -3 to 3. You can understand why I have used close interval, because in this interval -3 is included and 3 is also included, which is giving us 0 as a value that is acceptable for the given function. This is the domain. Have you got it?
Yes, ma'am.
So to find domain of this square root function, whatever is there inside the square root, always we will take it as a greater than or equals to 0. Because inside the square root sign, inside the radical negative, is not acceptable. And from there, we just have to solve the inequality to get it. How we will solve the inequality? We will try to solve it, and whenever a square and everything is there, if we are not getting the value, then we have to plot the real line. We have to make the interval by taking out the value of x. From where you will get the value of x? Just treat your inequality as an equation. Once you will treat your inequality as an equation, you will be able to solve it, and you will get few values of x. Those values of x, you have to drop it on your real line, and you will get the interval. Now, after getting the interval, you have to check which interval is true, which interval is false. All right. The interval which is true, that will be the domain. Now, what is the range? Anyone? To find the value of range, at first we have to, here f of x is y. Suppose we know f of x or y is the same thing. So we will write y at the place of f of x. That is equals to 9 minus x square. Now here we have to find the value of x. Like we have to make this equation in terms of x. Like x is equals to something. Okay, so what we will do at first, we will be doing is squaring both sides. Once we will do is squaring both sides, this will be y square is equals to 9 minus x square. From here, we will get x square is equals to 9 minus y square. Is it clear to everybody? What I am trying to do, I am trying to make x as a subject of the equation. Or I am trying to write the equation in terms of y. Like I am replacing x by y. I'm just like when the equation is given like y is equals to 3x plus 2. Here I want to find x is equals to something y plus something like that. Okay. Are you getting it? Anyone having confusion? Yes, Lina, are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
So to find the range, at first we are trying to change the variable. Automatically we will not change the variable. We will write y at the place of y. I will write x at the place of x. I will write y. This way we will not do. We have to x on one side, and then all the expression related to y will be on the other side. That's what we are doing. So from here we got x will be under root 9 minus y square. Here, what is the y value which is acceptable? That we will be able to find. Previously, domain means what is the x value which is acceptable for the given function. Now here, why we did like this? So that we can find what is the y value which is acceptable for the given function. What will be the y value which we will be getting from the given function? All right. For that, we have to do these changes with our equation, the given function. Once we will do that, you can see again we got the same thing. 9 minus y square. Just like 9 minus x square, I got 9 minus y square. And from 9 minus x square, we have already got the interval. Okay, you can go and have your food, Aman. Now only we will wrap it up also. You can go, no worries. We will be wrap it up after this question. So here 9 minus x square is there. So we have already got the domain as minus 3. When 9 minus y square is there, here also we will get the interval as minus 3 to 3 only. But here input is, let's get back to the question. Yeah, function was f of x is equals to, here the function was f of x is equals to 9 minus x square. So x value can be -3 to 3, any number in between this. So when x value is -3, y value starts with 0. Can you see? When x is -3, -3, 0. So can we say y value will be always greater than 0? Or it can be 0? Can we say? Are you getting it? Our function was f of x is equals to 9 minus x. Here you got the domain as -3 to +3. So when you will put -3 in your function, your f of x will be 0, right? Right? Are you getting it?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you will put -3 in your function, your y value will be 0. Okay, that means you are getting that your y value will be either 0 or more than 0. Okay. Now what will be the y value from the second case that we have solved by taking this one? Yeah, by doing this much of calculation, we have got that y will lie in between -3 to 3. So y is larger than or equals to 0. Y is also lying between these two. If we will draw a real line, and here is 0, here is -3, here is +3. Let's draw both the cases. Two cases we got. One is y is larger than 0, this way. And another one is y is lying in between -3 to 3, this one. The blue one. Now if we will try to find the common region for blue and orange one, we will find that our range will be 0 to 3.
I don't level का हम अपने पर में यार
Are you getting it?
देखो इन्हें देखे तो कितना आज भी
Yes,
नाच
ma'am.
फर्क ना हो मैं ला जा
Are you asking anything? Anyone?
तो यार खने एडवांस एडवांस जो तो हर काम है इतने एडवांस ना ना मैं सभी चीज हमारे
Who is talking? Yeah. So common reason is 0 to 3. Hence the range will be 0 to 3. Lina, Izan, if this question is not clear to you, don't worry. That's because you have not done the concept of this inequality. Do you know the concept of inequality, Lina and Izan?
No, ma'am.
No. That this question, if it is not clear, just keep it aside for a while. Okay, because here totally we are using the concept of inequality. This question is already there in your exercise. Here we need to use the concept of inequality only. If you want, again we will be discussing this question separately with a fresh mind.